And look at that. Wow. Right, just super coverage. I can't wait to see what it looks like when it dries. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Is It Worth It, where I go around the world and the internet looking for art supplies to make your life just a little bit easier or for you to enjoy the craft just this much more. Now today we are going back to one of our favorite stores, Five Below. Now I was recently in Five Below and, each store is a little bit different. You go into a store, they have something, and then you go to another store, they don't have it. And so it's always fun to go to different Five Belows and find something. And as we have been searching for new things, I've been introduced to paint markers, and they have been fun. We've done a couple reviews, and so I'm looking forward to trying the Five Below paint markers to see if they're worth it. Because if you can get some that are actually halfway decent and only cost $5, then that's definitely worth it, because there are 8 in here, and if you can use them and there's 8 and it costs only $5, that is a fraction of the cost of what you would be doing with any of the other markers, paint markers. So we're definitely going to be trying that. I'm very excited about trying these. Hopefully they're good, but you and I both know that there's only one way to find out whether or not they're actually worth it. So come on, let's go check them out. All right, so once again, normally when you go to Five Below, it's in a chipboard, and it's just colorful. They got some nice little paintings and colors on here, making it look really cute. Nice big peekaboo window so you can actually see the markers. And with these though, you start to see, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, ugh, if that's the paint that's already like kind of clumped together, these aren't going to be good, right? But it does tell you to shake before use, so I'm starting to think that that is just something that it does. There's not really much on here. It says paint markers with an exclamation point. It shows you the colors, says that it distributed from Philly and it was made in China. and that's it. That's all there is to this. So go ahead and open her up. Security sticker. Just gonna go ahead and go ahead and get rid of that. Don't like that. There you go. All right. So yeah, it's got a little container, but it's definitely flimsy. But it does the trick. All right. Whoops. So for people with big hands like me, these are a little bit smaller than I would like, but they're not too tiny, but these are definitely smaller. It is in a rounded triangular shape. It's supposed to be better for drawing, so how it rests when people hold it in their hands. So, there's that. The plastic itself it's got a nice weight to it, right? So that's cool. Ooh, that brush is nice. And even though it tells me to shake it first, it seems as though there's a lot of paint that's already inside of that, right? So I like that. It's got a nice tip to it. It looks pretty good. Let's see about the snap. It's got a nice snap. Oof. Right. See if it posts. Oh, nice and snug in there. All right. Oof. Seems good. Although, okay. So see, I don't know if you guys can see that, but when I snapped it, right, and I put it in there, that was great. But then when I posted it, some paint got onto the inside and then it coated the back. So be aware of that. It's nice and slick, so it's really nice. I'm liking it so far. I'm already messy, which paint marker. So as usual, we'll be using our Bristol Board 300 series smooth, but also a sketchbook with black paper since it is paint markers. But we will get back to that. We'll do that one next. All right, so we'll start. I'm just gonna shake this real quick. All right. Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, okay, we might need to shake it some more because I can definitely see all the paint. And while I like that the ink is flowing, the paint is flowing, it's like, ooh, I don't know if I want that to be a thing. But let's see. Ooh. I mean, with that's really nice, though. And at least at this moment where it's still wet, it doesn't look like it gets darker as it goes over top of it. Right? It gets a nice little, you can get a nice little edge to it, make some really thin lines. I mean, this brush is actually really good. So once you actually figure out your ability to hold it and the pressure it needs and stuff like that, and look at that. Wow. Right? Just super coverage. I can't wait to see what it looks like when it dries, but that was easy. All right, then we're gonna see, one thing that I really like doing is being able to go over the paint again. So I'm hoping that it will allow that. So it seems, as it is drying, it seems that it does a lot better with the individual lines than it does with like coating. So we're gonna find out how many layers it takes to give a nice little coating to it, you know, so that it's just all flat. But this definitely has, you know, the paint comes out real nice. It flows with you, right? So, and because it's paint, when it's wet, at least like this, it doesn't get darker. So it's not lighter on one side and then darker as it overlaps. It's all the same. It only looks like when it's right here, right, when I went too much. So maybe it's more, it needs to be slower. So we're going to try that with this one over here. I'm going to see if that'll work. Right, because I think I may have ruined it myself. So let's try that again. We're just going to slowly put some down. But it might just need multiple layers. But so far, these Five Below markers they're fantastic, especially for just like writing and doing details and stuff like that. They're great. All right, this is supposed to be red. I don't think this is red. We're gonna find out. Yes. It's red-ish. Yeah, so the consistency of these markers is great, right? It's very nice, although I'm somehow getting paint in places. See, I got a little bit of paint down there. Don't know how that happened, but like I said, you can get nice thick lines, you can get some thin lines, you can get medium lines, and the paint really does just kind of go with it. So this might be one of those ones when you should. I always tell my students not to do that, right? Because you're not a machine, you're not going to get it. But maybe with these, that's the way you're supposed to. Oh no, the tooth's gone. There it is. And I don't know if it's supposed to fill up all the way in here, but it doesn't. On all the ones that I've shaken up and used, it does not fill all the way into this barrel. So I don't know if it's supposed to, or if this black line was supposed to keep all of the ink back here. I don't know, but from what we can tell, the ink, it does, wow, that is a beautiful color. The ink just keeps, it does keep flowing. Whew, that blue is pretty. Yeah, I do believe that. Yeah, like that one I overdid it. But yeah, these are all great. I mean, for what you would probably use it for, these are fantastic. $5, you can't complain. Right, and look at that. It's just the ink flow with that is just. I mean, for something that's that cheap, and you, like I said, if you're writing with it, you can go over it again and again, or if you have small spaces, right, you can fill it in and you wouldn't have any type of problems. It's only if you're trying to cover big areas that you're probably going to have to go over it a couple times. But, and they have some very vibrant colors, like this one. This one's very nice. Still very consistent, right? Flows really nice. Ooh, that is a neon color. Once again, these are definitely random colors. Like if you were thinking about trying to be able to do something, you know, like, oh, I'm going to do a full-on image or something, the colors are not, you know, they're not the most consistent of colors that you would be like, oh yeah, these are the ones that I would put together. But I mean, look at that. That's just pretty. Very opaque black paint. Right, that's just, I mean, you cannot fight that. All right, so we're going to come back to this pink here and see if we can overlay it again and see if we'll see how it does. I don't know. I don't think that overlaying it is really going to help with these. These might not be the ones that you would want to use and overlay. It's more of a, oh no, that's pretty good. That's coming in there pretty nice. So, I mean, technically, as it's drying, I'm looking at this going, you know what? Maybe one good pass would get it, but if you did that and let it dry and you came back with a third pass, you'd be completely covered. So yeah, I don't think you need to do much with that though. All right, let's just quickly see how they're gonna pop in with black paper. Right, very. Whew. Look at that, they stick out. I'm gonna shake. I didn't shake that one up when I started using it again, but oh. Okay, so you're gonna have to watch it when you're actually shaking it up. I don't know, so you can see those two dots right there. That just came from taking the pen out. So, well, one thing that I've been noticing when it comes to these kind of paint pens and black paper, right? It always is way more translucent. Obviously, we're not going to do that. It's way more translucent than with a white paper. So when they always say it works with all papers and stuff like that, it's like, I don't know if it does. And it seems to be certain colors, like this green. This green is like, I don't have any problems. The pink did really well towards the end once it, got shook back up. But if you can really see, you can start seeing how it kind of fades out. So it's a lot brighter towards the beginning than it is at the end. So all right. I mean, the colors are all there. It just really depends on what you're trying to do. All right, so the colors are all there. They do fade, That's a big one that I'm noticing. Like, they do fade on this black paper. On the other paper, on the white paper, no issues whatsoever. But here, and the flow's still really good, right? You can still get some nice colors, right? And it still looks fine-ish. I mean, unless you're me, right? And I see that, I'm like, oh man, I gotta go back over that again. But if you're like journaling with this black paper, and you're like, oh, I just want to do some nice designy stuff, right? They work fine, right? Now, I want to come back to this. I'm going to come back here. Yeah. 2 passes, and that stuff looked great. And it doesn't feel like it's just caked on, like you put paint. Like, if you've ever painted before and you have it on paper, when you go over it, you're like, oh my goodness, there's a layer of paint. Here, it doesn't feel like that. Even the one that we went over again, you don't really feel that. And like I said, going over it twice, you can still see it. So me, the perfectionist in me, would come back over here and do this again, just to make sure you didn't see any streaks or whatnot. But those came in just fine. I want to see, like I said, I wanted to see how it looks when we go over them with a different color. I forgot to do that. But yeah, look at that, right on top. No issues, just right on top. Whoops, I didn't shake it. I didn't shake it to get any ink out. So, but right, you put it over top. If you shake it up and the ink comes out, it just right on top. No worries, nothing. So you can use these to like put down some type of color and then just go right over it, right? And it stays opaque. At least for the white paper, it stays opaque right on top of it. So yeah, these are really fun, really good. Last one. There. So you could do a nice painting with these, and then just cover it up with this, do like black lines if you're doing comics and stuff like that. Yeah. Cool. All right, so we just got done reviewing the Five Below paint markers, and go pick these up. They might not be the variety of colors that you need, but you could definitely use these in something, right? So if you already have other paint markers and you're like, oh, well, I like that blue. Just the blue alone, in my opinion, was great. And then the black is super opaque. Like, I just want to pick these up just for that black. Like, that black is fantastically opaque and great. And as you noticed, like I said, it was like one pass. There was still some streaks in it. You did one more pass, and then it was completely covered, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's enough. But if you are like me and you want to make sure there's nothing to be seen, you would go over it one more time and be like, all right, so now it's all clear, super clear, no worries whatsoever. These were fantastic. I really wish they had more, because for $5, you cannot beat this 8-pack. These were great. Absolutely great. There's nothing really else to say about it. The ink flow was great. The brush was great. Yes, it flickered a little bit, right? When you shook it up and then you open the cap, some ink may have spilled out. So you want to keep that in mind when you're working on projects. But outside of that, pick these up. These are fantastic. Well, that wraps up today's episode of Is It Worth It? I hope that you learned something today that will be helpful for you in the future. If there are any type of projects that you would like me to review, please, please, please drop a comment below and I will make sure to add it to the list. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you get notified every single time that I drop new content. Thank you all so very much, and I will see you at the next episode.